Is the market slowing down? Is home inventory rising? Are rates going up or down? And what is going to happen to affordability? Stay tuned for my top predictions for what's going to happen in the Orlando real estate market in 2025. My name is Jennifer DeVivo, and I've been doing this real estate thing for about 20 years. So I've seen a lot of markets come and go. And my first prediction, based on the numbers, what we're seeing is that we are going to see a really balanced playing field in 2025. We are finally seeing a balanced market, and that means for you buyers out there, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for negotiation. Looking here, one of the quotes by the National Association of Realtors chief economist, Lawrence Yun, says, "The worst of the housing inventory shortage is coming to an end. Mortgage rates are stabilizing and job additions are continuing." So that indicates that now we're seeing more homes coming on the market, and we're seeing the buying power of home buyers increase a bit, and we're starting to get some predictability in the interest rates. Another great quote that I saw was from our own president of the Orlando Realtor Regional Association, Rose Kempton. She says, for the first time in 14 years, the Orlando area has roughly a 6-month supply of homes. And that means that there are enough homes on the market to satisfy home buyers for the next 6 months. I always say, if no new homes came on the market, we would have 6 months supply of homes based on how many homes per month are being bought by home buyers. I used to say that it was about 4 months where we would get to a balance, but in the Orlando market now, that number has changed to 6 months. And how do we know that that equates to deals for home buyers? Because home buyers, guys, this is your turn now. You can start getting off the sidelines and making decisions by looking for homes that have been sitting on the market. The average homes that were sitting on the market last year in 2024 was about 58 days. It took about 2 months in general for a home to go from pending or posted on the internet, on Realtor.com, on Zillow, to going under contract and then getting to the closing table. Now we're seeing an increase as of December last month, because I'm recording this in January of 2025. 70 days. Now, normally, guys, I always say, hey, you know what? Around Christmas and the holidays is a great time to look for a home because the market does quiet down. You can expect that 70 days on the market to probably decrease as we get into spring and summer, but it is considerably more. So when you see a home that has been sitting on the market, that is a sign that the seller is saying, hey, I really need to sell this home. And that seller is going to be able to negotiate more with you. Maybe they'll bring down the price. Look for homes that have been sitting and have price reductions. Or maybe that seller is willing to pay for $9,000 or $10,000 in closing costs. We've been getting our home buyers closing costs or more, negotiating on repairs. Maybe you find a home you love and the roof is old. Maybe that seller is willing to put on a new roof before closing. Or maybe those interest rates are still a little higher than you want, but now in 2025, you might find sellers willing to help you pay down some points so that you can get an even better interest rate. So in 2025, home buyers, you are getting much more in the driver's seat, get more leverage and more negotiating power. My second prediction for 2025 is that interest rates are going to stall in the 6% range, maybe 6.5, 6.6, 6.7. You know, in 2023, interest rates hit a high of about 8%, which all of us were going like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then last year we saw 6.5% in 2024, 6.7%. And now we're here in the beginning of 2025, January, only 2 weeks right into the year, and we are seeing interest rates kind of stalling. And I've always told all my clients, hey guys, It's tied to inflation. The Federal Reserve has said over and over again, as long as inflation continues to decrease and we get closer to 2 to 3% in terms of inflation, we're going to bring down interest rates. And they've done that to a certain extent. But there's something that in all the years of me being in real estate, I didn't quite put my finger on, which is our national deficit. What we see is that the Fed is lowering rates, but mortgage rates are not falling. And I've got a great graph for that. But before we get to that, what Lawrence Young, again, the economist for National Association of Realtors, has said, this is a really good quote. He says, "Today we have a massive budget deficit at a time when we are not in an economic recession." And then he does note that the new administration, President-elect Trump, will not stop tax cuts. He will extend or expand them, and there will be less mortgage money available because the government is borrowing so much money. And if you look at this graph that we've got up here, you'll see that blue line represents the Fed's cutting rates, right? You'll see, the graph going a bit up, and that red line are actual mortgage rates, right? Because when the Fed cuts rates, it's not just for mortgages, it's for cars and other things like that, credit cards. And you'll see there in that 2023 where mortgage rates hit like 8%, and now they've been coming down. But we have not been seeing, in terms of the Fed, as they're lowering rates, we're seeing mortgage rates kind of stall and plateau. But all is not lost, because Young continues to say that if the new administration comes up with a really good plan to really cut the deficit, that will really help mortgage interest rates. And there's also other factors that will also help affordabilities in 2025, which is housing supply. And we're going to get to that in a second. But basically, the more housing supply that comes on the market, the more affordable homes can become as well. And don't forget, when we think about point number one with a balanced supply, there are other ways to bring down your interest rate. We have people who are selling their homes, giving you closing costs to buy down your interest rate. And a lot of builders, we have great lists of builders who are offering interest rates. Even I've seen 5.99, I've seen 4.99. So it doesn't mean just because the average interest rate is going to be at around 6, which is still not a bad interest rate for 2025. Combine that with more of a housing supply and also the ability to buy down your interest rate or have the seller buy down your interest rate, and you can still get a lot done. It can still be a rosy picture for you when it comes to interest rates in 2025. My third prediction for the Orlando housing market in 2025 is that multi-generational housing will continue to increase, and so will the age of home buyers. All right, I know we're already living longer, and that's changing the kind of demographic of what we're seeing in terms of what people are buying and when people are buying it. The average age of a first-time home buyer is now 38. And the average age of all home buyers last year was 56. Now, I know that there is a lot of flack for the boomers and the fact that they bought homes in the 50s and the 60s, and now these homes are worth millions of dollars. But what these grandparents or what these, new baby boomers and retirees are doing is they're selling off their homes and they are buying multi-generational houses. And they are thinking, you know what, I want to live in Orlando, I want to be where it's warm, and I don't want to be far from my grandchildren. And this is actually really great for the whole family. We saw that last year that multi-generational homes comprised 17% of the market, and that's only expected to increase. And what happens is families save on childcare, or as parents age in place, the family doesn't have to worry about putting them in the nursing home or paying for expensive elder care. And we're also seeing that builders are really making some really cool and innovative floor plans where you have a house with a little apartment attached to it. I've seen homes that have their own separate entrances. So it's a really neat trend, and definitely a growing one in 2025. But for those of you in your 20s or your early 30s, or those of you who are like, heck no, I'm not living with my parents, there is still a lot of hope. I think that education is key. There are so many more programs coming out, and this isn't an official point, but we are seeing an expansion of money coming from the federal government to expand on affordable housing grants and programs. So definitely click below in the comments. We made a guide for 2025 for over 50 grants and down payment assistance programs. And it's not what you think. There's a lot of incredible programs that you don't need your parents, you don't need anyone else to help you purchase a home. It's a lot about education and positioning yourself to be that home buyer in your 20s and in your 30s. And here's just a little quick fact to kind of motivate you. The average homeowner last year had a net worth, I have it right up here, again by our amazing economist Young, of about $415,000. That's almost $500,000. A lot of that is contributed to long-term growth and equity in your home. Your home acts like a piggy bank. As everything gets more expensive, your home goes up in value. But the average renter in 2024 only had about $10,000 of net worth. So really think about this. Just buy something, just get into something. The average renter gives their landlord about $24,000 every year in rent. And that's money they'll never see again, money that's not working, for you. In 2 years, it's $50,000. And in 3 years, it's $75,000. And the market then leaves you behind because homes continue to seem like they're out of reach. So do not lose hope. In the comments, click below, get a copy of our down payment assistance dog guide. It's a cute little dog, and he shows you all the different steps. Go to our portal and see how many programs that you could possibly qualify for grants and down payment assistance, and just go and get your little piece of the pie. Hey, if you're finding this content useful and informative, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It matters so much to us. And we are going to continue to pump out amazing content where we are giving you great information, community tours, home tours, tips, and some digging into the numbers to help you find those incredible deals. So go ahead and click subscribe, and back to our home predictions. My fourth prediction is that Orlando is going to outpace the national average when it comes to price appreciation. We're looking at kind of a flat appreciation nationally in terms of an average of 2% in the United States. But in Orlando, because Orlando is special for a few reasons I'll go into, we're looking, in terms of my notes, I have here 12.1%. So a whole 10%, more than the national average. And even our sales are going to be going up about 15% versus the national average of 11%. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Orlando is always growing. We have got a lot of innovation. We're known for our parks, but we have a lot of businesses that come here, that we also have a lot of out-of-town people who move to Orlando. And we also have a lot of military-related families that come to Orlando, a lot of them for retirement purposes as well. And so we have this special mix that causes Orlando to continually, year after year, often outperform the national average. So that's good news if you're a homeowner and you're worried about, prices are cooling, and, there is not like 2021 and 2022 where we see that, prices went up by 25% and another 20%. My personal home, between 2020 and 2021, almost, went up 51%. I did my own numbers, but that was definitely definitely the case for Orlando and a lot of other areas too. So what we're seeing is nice, steady growth in Orlando. Orlando is also still a really good market for the investor community. We just have a lot of new people still moving to Orlando, a lot of job growth, a lot of innovation, and that's kind of what sets us apart. And my fifth prediction for the Orlando housing market in 2025 is that we are going to see more housing, which is going to lead to more affordability, meaning more new construction. Builders are getting savvy and they are working on ways, especially our smaller builder community is working on ways to make homes more affordable, whether that means new markets in the outer areas of Orlando or in the greater central Florida area we're seeing. And we're also seeing grants coming down and governments working with local builders to make more affordable housing. The flip side of that, however, and I'm going to show this graph to you, I think it's super interesting, is that we are also going to see some overbuilding. In 2024, we saw that there was a year-over-year increase in new construction permits, about 10%, according to Home Builders Weekly. And you'll see in this graph, I think it's really stunning. That high peak represents 2008, right before the crash. Builders were going absolutely nuts. And then you see the low valley, and that's the years of the recession where builders pretty much kind of almost came to a halt in terms of building, which also caused that pent-up demand. You know, you keep hearing, oh, there's a shortage of homes, and you're like, wait a second, there's kind of homes everywhere. But we still have about 4 million homes that we're short of overall on a national basis, because when builders stopped building, people still kept having babies, households kept forming. But now you look over here to 2024, and this is the highest level of completed unsold homes since 2009. And I have a video called Orlando is a Boom Bust Town. It's a short. My parents were subcontractors and general contractors. I grew up in construction here in Orlando and for years and years. So 20 years in residential on my own, but growing up in that for many, many years. I saw Orlando is a boom bust town in terms of lots of construction being built. Then it always inevitably it led to overbuilding. So when the demand pulls back, it's not so easy for builders to pull back. And sometimes you have small pockets where people pull back, maybe interest rates, different things like that. And so now we have builders having two incentives, right? In terms of helping out you, the home buyer. One, they want to build more affordable housing. And two, sometimes they overbuild. They get a little too excited, a little too optimistic, and now they've got to liquidate homes. I literally have seen a few gorgeous new model homes have massive price reductions, 20, 30,000. Just reach out to us. We have lists of new construction that has had price reductions, and we also have special lists of homes, as we were talking about before, as we're entering into a balanced market, homes that have had price reductions, and just, reach out to us and we're happy to send you those lists and keep you updated. And I also wanted to bring your attention to another area that is close by Orlando. We have a team working it. It's Ocala. Some of you know it, and it's about an hour northwest of us. And let me pull up this picture of this home. Right now in Ocala, there are over 250 new construction homes between 200,000 and 300,000. The one that you see here is at 209,000. We have them at 220, 250. And Ocala has an international airport. There are town centers coming out of the ground. There's a window there. And it's an example of builders that are building homes that are more affordable, meeting the demand, meeting the need. So, definitely reach out to us and we'll be happy to connect you with those lists, with that information, so that you too can cash in on this kind of bit of an overbuild, maybe an oversupply, this opportunity in the market. So that wraps up my predictions. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to get in on those resources. Okay, we have our down payment assistance guide. And you can go ahead and learn about all the programs. We have our portal where you can see what you'll match up with. We have guides for multi-generational living and housing in the Orlando area for new construction. And we also have our lists of homes that have had price reductions, so you can hone in on those lists, affordable builders, and oh my goodness, just so much. We are really trying to make sure that being a homeowner, achieving your dream of home ownership is within reach. And for those of you who are thinking, do I need to sell? Do I need to buy now? Do I want to do multi-generational living? Am I thinking of retiring? Is Orlando a good place? I hope that this video has helped answer some of those questions for you. But don't forget to set up a 15-minute VIP home strategy session with me and my team, and we'll just hone in on what your needs are and create a plan for you. And then we'll do some more home planning and get you to your needs and your goals and fulfilling your dreams for you and your family. Thank you guys again so much. My name is Jennifer DeVivo. I'm the broker and owner of Lotus Door Realty, and we are here to help you find your way home.